All right, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be moving on to our new activity, and we're going to continue to build on what we've been working on previously. So previously we've been working on loops and nested loops, right? And so we've been using a lot of these blocks, these repeat blocks. So go right here, and we've been introduced to the repeat block right here, the repeat until. We've used the for I loop, and we've used the forever block. So we're all familiar with all four of these blocks and how they're used, right? The for I block is a counter block, right? And so it we can use that to repeat a certain thing for each instance, and in each instance we can have some type of variation. We can have some type of condition, right? So when I is 1, there could be something that particularly happens within that loop. When I is 2, something else can happen in that loop, etc. We have the repeat until, which is a allows us to add a conditional statement that allows this to repeat until something occurs, right? So this is what we call like an execution block. And what that means is this is going to continue to execute until this is no longer true, right? Once it's no longer true or once it's false, etc., then it eliminates or terminates the entire uh, repeat. And then we have just our regular repeat where we can actually put an amount of times we want to repeat, such as 4, 5, 10, 20, however many times. It's going to repeat that many times no matter what, right? So it's going to repeat that and then it's going to stop, right, and move on. And then we finally have our forever block. Our forever block runs infinitely, right? Now, the problem with the forever block is we can actually crash a program by just using a forever block, right? It is important to understand that even when we're using a forever block, we want to have some type of control in it. So that's what we're going to be focused on today, and it's going to correlate to our activity that we're working on, or the activity we're working on today, as well as our final project for this unit, which is going to be a platform game. So you're going to need to know how to use a forever block because you're going to have some things in there that you're going to have to be able to add a conditional statement, and you need that to be able to run all the time, right? So you don't want to be able to crash a program, but you still need it to run, such as like your buttons on a video game, right? So whenever and I think I've used this example before, if you've ever played the Mario Brothers, right? The Mario Brothers, when the game starts, there are forever blocks that are tied into your entire controller, right? So when you press the right button, right, Mario continuously moves across the screen, right? And so what happens is inside that forever loop, there's these things called conditional statements, which we're familiar with, where there's some if statement in there, right? And let's say I want to I'm gonna actually make this sprite image real quick. So let's go ahead and we're gonna change this. So import. I'm gonna import. I'm actually gonna put a costume on this so we can just kind of see it instead of having the little sprite right here. So let's go costumes. Now I want you to see this in particular because this is going to be useful for the activity that you're going to be working on today. So let's go ahead and put a costume on this. Opening costumes. Now let's go ahead and use Alonzo. All right. Cool. So now we got Alonzo here, and what happens is I want Alonzo to move, right? Now if I put Alonzo on a forever block, and we're gonna put when green flag is clicked, and I use a normal forever block right here, and of course we make something move by right changing the position. So let's move it by one step. If I move this block is going to move forever. Alonzo's just going to keep on moving, as you can see, right? It's forever. Problem is, it never ends, right? So I want to be able to control Alonzo and move Alonzo, but I don't want him just consistently move by himself. So what I could do is, I'm going to stop that real quick. I'm going to bring Alonzo back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this if statement in here. I'm going to add some controls. We call them user controls. So if let's go right here. Right, and I'm actually keep this here. Um, and I can add some conditional statements, right? So if the position of, let's say x is less than 500, actually let's say it's less than 0, I want Lonzo to move. Now guess what? X is actually at 0. So because X is at 0, Lonzo is not moving, right? So there's a conditional statement that's controlling whether Lonzo moves or not, right? Now, if I change this position, if X is less than negative 25, right? He's not moving. Now, if X is less than 50, what's sorry, actually, let me put this in. I did that wrong. So you can see if the X position is less than 50. All right, cool. So there we go. Right. So if X position is less than 50, then Lonzo can move. Now what happens is once he gets to 50, Lonzo stops. Right. Even though it's still in the forever loop, but Lonzo is not moving now because that condition is no longer true. Right. So we're able to create this condition where Alonzo is now only moving when certain conditions is met, right? So if I change this to 100, right, he's going to keep on moving. Once he gets to 100, he stops, right? Makes sense, right? That makes sense, right? All right, so now what I want to be able to do is add some user controls to this, right? So I can be able to add some user controls where I can press specific buttons, right? So let's go here. Where's my controls? Right. So if where is my button? Here we go. If key is pressed, right? So now what happens is if I press the space bar, and I'm pressing the space bar right now, now Lonzo moves, but it's controlled, right? So it's still a forever loop. So as you can see, Lonzo's not moving right now. Only time Lonzo's going to move is when I press the space bar. Now this might be good if I am playing a game of, say, Pong, for example, right? And I need my paddles to move up and down the screen, right? If I need my paddles to move up and down the screen, I want to have some type of conditional statement similar to this, where if I press if I press the up arrow key, the paddle moves up, and if I press the down arrow key, the paddle moves down, right? And I'm going to need to have some type of conditional statements where, as long as it is between a specific space, I can move it. So check this out, right? So right now I can press the key press and I can move Alonzo one position. But maybe I don't want to allow Alonzo to move past a certain point. So what I can do is I can add this other condition, right? Our Boolean operator. So if the key is pressed and the X position is less than 0, then move Lonzo by 1. Uh-oh, I put that in the wrong spot. Jesus. Here we go, right here. Then we're going to move Lonzo by 1 spot, right? So watch this. So now I have it, and I can move Lonzo. Now guess what? Once he gets to 0, I'm still pressing the spacebar position, but he's no longer moving because the condition is no longer true now, right? So, and if I change this around, let's change this to put 50, and you guys can see it again. Now I can move Alonzo. Once Alonzo gets to X position 50, it no longer moves. All right, so I think that is key. This is some information you're going to use. You're going to see this in your next activity, which involves you um, creating Dino and being able to move Dino across the screen, up and down. And so, good luck. We will um, we will look at this tomorrow as well as a class at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, at 10 o'clock. You can ask me questions as you like. I will diagram and break this down for you. But go ahead and try, do the best you can, and we'll submit tomorrow morning. And then I'll give you the solution sheet. All right. Have a good day.